All right. What's going on, people? How we doing today? Welcome. Let me change this. I hate when it mirrors my camera. Hold on. Just flip around for a sec. There we go. How we doing, guys? How are we today? What's going on? Talk about the game in a second here. I don't know if anything else is happening on it, but yeah, what's going on? What's the deal? What do you guys think of our preseason? I'm gonna show some stats and things like that, and then I want to bring some people on to speak and take part in the game because I have some notes. I've got some notes. 1 second here. Let me let some more people kind of file in here. Honey Manu and Konuno. Yep. Give me 1 second. I just need to shut my door because everybody just woke up. See you in a little. Yeah, I'll see you in a little, okay? Yeah, I know. Okay. Cunha, best ref was trash. Yeah, let's look at some numbers here. Hold on, give me a minute. Let's look at some numbers here. Let's look at some numbers. Snapdragon Cup. Okay, hold on. Let's look at some stats. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I apologize. Just getting set up here properly. We're not the same without a number 9. I would agree, but I wanna look at some numbers. We're gonna look at some numbers because we have stats. I'm happy we have stats. Let me switch to the right thing here and let me screen share a tab. Let's go with this one. Bam. And let's add you to the stage. There we go. All right, let's look at some numbers here. So if we look at it overall, I do think it was better than people are letting on. I think it was better than people are letting on, frankly. Like, it wasn't a perfect performance by any means, but when you look at it in general, we had a really poor start. First 10, 15 minutes was really slow. Beyond that, we pretty much controlled the game. We gave up a couple of counters, but like, the thing about it is like, so what? Like, so we gave up some counters, like that happens. You're gonna give up counters. That doesn't really like you're always gonna give up something during the game. We weren't like playing horrendous football, but that doesn't mean it was very fluid or very like clean at the same time. You know what I mean? But we did control it overall. 3 big chances to 2, 61% possession. Altai made 0 saves. Compared to 5 for De Gea. In general, when you look at the attack map, we controlled the game quite well. We controlled the game quite well. 3 big chances missed. 3 big chances missed. Here's where I thought we were poor, and I think a big part of this was essentially the midfield. We lost too many. We lost slightly more duels. We weren't dueling that well. We lost too many in the air. Our dribbles weren't particularly great. It was mostly sloppiness, in my opinion. What I see overall, I thought it was really the sloppiness in general. The shape was decent. I would say this was a little bit of an oddity here. This relationship, I think, needs obviously just time together on the pitch. Ahmad was pretty sloppy today, but him and Mbeumo were at times occupying too much of the same spot. That relationship needs work. That relationship needs improvement. We need to see that growing into something else. They're just not particularly ready for that yet. Mason Mount was good today. But he's certainly not a striker. You know what I mean? Like it's a hard, like it's a weird balance. You know what I mean? He's a good player today. Look at this nice little heat map right there. He was a good Mount had a good game today, but we really, really missed a striker. But he had a good game. There's a space for him in the team. Probably not as a starter, but there's a space for him in the team. I thought Cunha was good. I thought Dorgu had a sloppy game today. Not his best game of the preseason, that's for sure. I think Amma wants to be as a 10, not as a right wing back. I'm not sure that's the issue. I think it's just forming those bonds, those relationships. Back three, I thought were quite good together. And then the midfield pairing. They just need time. A lot of it is people just need time to play together, frankly. Like, they just need time to play together. In the build-up, we saw Cunha solve some of the problems where he would get the ball, turn, carry it up the pitch. That helped us a lot. Mbeumo created 4 chances with his crossing. Excellent crossing from him. But we're losing a lot of duels. That's the most part. That's where I see it's a lot of sloppiness, a lot of just like they're not necessarily quite ready. They got to work it together because that's the biggest thing. If you look at this right side, 8 duels, 3-1, 8 duels, 2-1. It's just they're not winning a lot of duels across the pitch. Now, I thought, here's my notes. Okay, here's my notes on the game. Number 1, I thought we were really good at attacking set pieces. The Mbeumo's crossing in the box, getting the ball in the box is on another level. If you put Sesko in there as another 6'5" player, huge, massive. He's going to make a huge difference in there because Mbeumo created multiple chances just getting the ball into the boxes. His crossing is insane. His crossing is so good at the moment. We've got to get that striker in there. So that's me, priority number 1. Get that striker in there because we'll create a lot of chances with his crossing. And I think a lot of times he doesn't want to cross the ball when it's not on a set piece. He doesn't want to cross the ball when it's not on a set piece because there's no number 9 in the box, because there's no big guy in the box getting in there on the end of him, to win those aerial duels. So he's waiting till set pieces instead of hitting it early. I think he's going to do great. I think we're going to get a lot of goals that way once Sesko makes it on the pitch. The other thing is, and this cannot go this cannot go like underrated in my opinion, is that you still can see we need this striker playing, because as good as Mount was like in certain things, in certain moments, we're not getting the runs in behind. We can't pass the ball up to Mason Mount to like bring it down in the buildup. So when we were being pressed early on, we were struggling with that. We still don't have the 9. It's such a massive natural part of the formation. It's such a natural part of the tactics. Not having a 9 is crazy. Okay. It will do so much more for us. I want to talk about Bruno and Casemiro for a minute, because I've got a different take to probably what I was seeing in the chat from watching it. I think Bruno did way better out of possession today. Way better out of possession today. I think that his out of possession work today was really good. He was so much better out of possession, especially considering he was playing with Casemiro. I think Casemiro did nothing out of possession, unfortunately. Bruno was, when we would lose the ball, Bruno was back there making tackles. When we would give up the ball, Bruno was back there making tackles. When we were doing this, Bruno was there winning the ball, getting the work done. He held his position really well. He contributed a lot better. And this is kind of what we were talking about yesterday, is that it's the dynamics that Ruben Amorim, you can put it all on the 6. right? You could put it all in the 6, but Bruno needs to do more out of possession. Whoever he's partnering, this extra guy needs to do a lot more out of possession work to help to support the team, because it's a 2-man midfield. You cannot just abandon it. You can't run away from it. You can't not do that out of possession work. You can't leave it to one person. Bruno, I thought, did a lot better at that today. And secondly, I thought, of course, Bruno in possession was deeper with runners in front of him, hitting the balls into the channels, moving it around, was doing great. I think Bruno was very, very good today. I think Bruno showed exactly why you want him deep. And so given that we didn't play a striker, I'm quite happy that that we set up Bruno deep today. But Casemiro, I don't get it. I don't know. There's an oddity. There's an oddity, and I do get the dynamics of this. What we were talking about yesterday is that in theory, right? What you want is what Emram wants is one guy who shields a little, sits a bit, and one guy who causes a bit more chaos, but they need to work really, really hard out of possession. Casemiro and Bruno is kind of the right dynamic if Bruno works really hard. Casemiro Ugarte is also the right dynamic, but it lacks a lot in possession, right? So he picks these partnerships where Casemiro Bruno, he subs off Casemiro, brings on Kobe, and then 2 minutes later or 5 minutes later brings on Ugarte, because he's always picking Ugarte Menu, Bruno Casemiro. Those are the partnerships he's picking. He's not going to change that. When Baleba comes in, if Baleba comes in, yeah, he is out with a knock. He is out with a knock, but he actually is out with a knock. If and when Baleba comes in, he's replacing Casemiro. And then you'll get Baleba, Bruno, Ugarte, Menu, and that's your depth. Bruno and Menu, Baleba and Ugarte. And that works. So that's the clear and obvious intention from Ruben Amorim with this team, with this setup, with this system. When? Yes, because it's now or next summer. Now or next summer, man. Now or next summer, we're gonna get Baleba. That's what I think anyway. But point being, regardless, we're gonna get a midfielder to partner Bruno. You understand that, right? The thing that I would say, though, at the same time is, I still disagree. I still disagree with playing Casemiro. I think he's just, we can't start Casemiro against Arsenal. Just put Ugarte on if we don't have a midfielder. Just put Ugarte on. Just put Ugarte on. Because we need more help in the midfield. They were running through the midfield so easily. You can protest whatever you want on Ugarte's in possession. We need the out of possession work. We need the out of possession work. We cannot play Casemiro against Premier League teams. They will run right through the midfield. They will run right for the midfield until you can get Baleba in. We just put somebody who does some out of possession work. We have to. We have to. We just have to. So, and it's certainly better because it's too easy to run through without the defending. It's just too easy. So those are my thoughts. Hold on, I had one more thought. And then the main other signal here was obviously Hojlund, 0 minutes when we needed a striker. Mount played striker, and Mbeumo played striker, Cunha played striker, no Rasmus Hojlund. Mount, I thought it was pretty clear he was playing placeholder in the first half, right? So that you could play Cunha and Mbeumo in their natural positions. So you could play Bruno in their natural positions. Because what he doesn't want to do is keep putting Bruno, in the front three, and then he doesn't want to keep putting Bruno in the front three and pulling players out of their natural positions, and I think that makes sense. You know what I mean? So I think it's great. I think that's good. Put players where you want to put them. Also, I'm gonna give another huge shout out to Harry Maguire. Might still him and Euro clearly our best center backs. I got nothing else to say. You either see it or you don't. You either see it or you don't. Harry Maguire needs to play. Harry Maguire needs to play. Harry Maguire needs to play. He's just got to. He's just got to. You either see it or you don't. And if you don't see it by now, I can't help you. Harry Maguire needs to play. And I'm pretty positive he'll be starting. Maguire versus pace won't end well. I mean, he just played against a fairly pacey player. Moise Kean is far from slow, by the way. He's actually quite a decent striker. And they played him really well on the offside lines and traps and all of that, actually. There's a lot of things I think people were seeing negatively. But yeah, we need but that's my takeaways. My main takeaways here. We've got to have a striker in. We've got to have somebody running these channels, and we've got to have somebody to get the ball up to. Otherwise, it's the midfield. It's this in the midfield. It's what we know. We need that striker on, and we need the midfield in. That's it. For their goal, it's certainly not on Maguire. He's the central center back. It was whatever's going on this side was a mess. Casemiro's the right-sided center midfielder. He was all the way on the left. Ahmad and Euro were trapped. I think it was more a Euro error, the goal that we conceded, from what I could tell. Euro got stuck in there and ended up double marking one player and leaving players alone at the back post, unfortunately. I think it was unfortunately on Lenny, the goal that we conceded. Maguire, it's zonal marking. He doesn't have to be marking an individual. He's in his spot. Lenny got shoved into the middle and did not move out to the side in the way that he should. It's in that set piece. It was in Lenny's zone, unfortunately, and he got pushed into the middle. It is what it is. But yeah, Fiorentina had 6 offsides. The offside trap was great. It was just a poor communication from Lenny and Heaven on that. I don't know where Ahmad was marking, but it was just them two. And it's fine. That's something that needs work. To be fair, our set pieces were better than theirs. It's just that our good old friend David De Gea had a pretty classic game. Poor passing. Gives up that goal on a set pieces, but some really good reaction saves. Pretty much what you expect from De Gea. So it is what it is. Yeah. We need a striker. Ruben Amorim, at times we struggled without the reference as a striker. We have a new striker for now. Ruben gets it, and people will understand. People will understand. He gets it. He knows what he's talking about. We need a striker in this team to play very, very well. Yeah, said we struggle without a striker. He brushed. I know. It's an obvious message. So those are my takeaways. We need a striker. We need that midfielder. We need a striker. We need the midfielder. And you know, it was a little sloppy. But otherwise, not bad. The set pieces were good. And Mbumo chance creation was good. Clear message to Rasmus. You're probably not going to be here, my guy. We don't have a striker. He just literally just said we have a striker. By the way, the other thing that Ruben did say as well is when he commented on Sesko, like what he brings to the table, what his attributes are, what were the words he said? Good in the air, fast and runs the channel well, and good in possession. That's what you need out of your striker. That's what we wanted. Those are the exact traits he's looking for. Run the channels, take the ball out of, take the ball in the channels, run in the channels, win the ball in the air, and bring it down. So clearly those were the traits we were looking for in a striker, and I think that was good to see. On Hojlund specifically, let me talk about it. Well, it's not. He didn't say good in the box. He didn't say like a guy who scores tap-ins. He didn't even mention his shooting. He's talking about his attributes, his characteristics as a player. They're not, all strikers are not like that. You can have target men, you can have, guys, there's the things he wants were mostly about the buildup. We're mostly about the setup, win the ball in the air, run the channels, take the ball down in possession. He's more describing how you get to the box than what you're doing in the box. And clearly, that's where he feels we're lacking, at this point in time. But look, I mean, Ruben Amorim saying we missed a striker in 0 minutes for Rasmus Hojlund is a pretty damn obvious message to me. I mean, how much more obvious can you get? Sesko 100% has to start for Arsenal. Don't give me no fitness nonsense. He's 22 and playing in the preseason. He's ready. I agree with you. He's played 2 matches, 45 minutes for Leipzig. He's had a preseason over there. He's a professional. He's not an injury-prone player. Get him on the pitch. Get him on the pitch. Let me do the poll on the likes here, and then I'm going to post the link in the chat, and we'll start getting to some call-ins, some chatters. And I'll get some people coming in. Yeah, the Red Bull preseason workout should be pretty strong. I feel like Leipzig will have had Sesko ready for the season, honestly. But look, let me talk about Hojlund really, really quick here, and then I'll send you the links in the chat. Okay, on Hojlund, you're getting some debatable quotes, debatable reports. One saying he prefers a permanent over a loan. I've actually heard the opposite. He still wants to stay at this point in time. He still wants to stay at this point in time. They're going to have to sit down and push him. Obviously, today's game is a big, big signal. It was more my understanding that he's wants to stay at United and fight for his place. So even if he were to leave, he would want to leave temporarily and be able to come back and play at United. He's a United fan. It's his dream. So he would like to come back. So I'm not so sure that he would prefer a permanent over a loan is accurate. But not as far as I've heard from my side. But there are different situations. You know what I mean? There are different perspectives on all of this. But yeah, I think that's the message is becoming clear from United, from Ruben Amorim. It's time to go. You know what I mean? That's essentially the message that's being sent at this point. So it's going to be an interesting week of conversations with him. It's not super clear cut. Baleba, I just want to mention as well. You saw there were some mixed messages from some quotes and things. I thought it was quite interesting. 2 things that were reported that give me in further encouragement on my own information and belief that we're going to try to get this done. Number 1, the read on Sesko from The Athletic kind of said, look, it's now or never. And then it said, and it's the same view regarding Baleba. It might be now or never. We don't have time to waste. It's time to kick things up. So Jim is a serious man. And he wants us to compete right away. Secondly, Andy Mitten, there's some maybe misattributed slight quotes, but the full quote's out there. Andy Mitten's not necessarily a guy to do complete speculation. He said, we want him. He'd be open to it. And then he speculated a bit about how we would potentially make a deal, maybe players going the other way. Now, Andy Mitten's been pretty insistent. There's going to be more sales and more departures that are not necessarily related to the bomb squad, right? Now, one of those could be very much Hojlund, obviously. He's not in the bomb squad. He's probably going to go. Is there somebody else we might offer to Brighton as a part of this deal? Is that a part of the conversation? Everybody on this Baleba deal, Ornstein, Mitten, everybody is hearing kind of the same thing. It's like there's a crack in the door to do a deal here, and it's going to take a serious offer. Is there anybody else that could go? And is there anybody else that could go to Brighton? I've thought about Kone. Didn't play in this preseason. Exactly the type of development player that Brighton would like. It's not about having a swap deal. It's about potentially ways that you could sell them or loan them players in addition as a part of smoothing the relationship. It has nothing to do with it like a swap in that respect. Collier, Kone. Are there other players who could be sold? If you look at that team, I think it's Casemiro that moves should Baleba come in, right? And obviously Casemiro will be gone in a year. But Amos, there's a few things that could happen there that could help kind of make a deal work, like Chelsea did with Colwill, right? So there's things that can make a deal potentially help here, in this. But I think we're going to make a serious. I really do think we're moving on this. It's a step-by-step process, right? Where it's a step-by-step process of like he's open. We know he's open. What can we do? What might the price be? What can we afford? And putting in a proper first bid that starts the conversation, like I was saying yesterday on my live. That's what we need to do. That's what I think they're going to do. But yeah, you mentioned this a few days ago. We struggle against teams that play three at the back. It was noticeable today. Did they play? They did play three at the back, didn't they? Yeah, they did. And the reason that we struggle against three at the back is they go man-to-man across the pitch. They go man-to-man across the pitch. They put the three markers everywhere, and they will usually leave a free man in the back line or the keeper. And what happens then is you have to win your duels. And what also we're missing then is that striker making those channel runs so that we can just send the ball in. You saw towards the end of the first half and a bit in the second half when Mbumo and some of them started making the runs into the channels and Bruno started finding them, it got better and better. And we need that out of the striker. But yeah, look, I think we can get Baleba. I think we're going to make a serious attempt for him. I think we'll make an offer. And I think the offer might be somewhere around 90 to 95 million and see if that just gets it done. I think that's what we're going to do, frankly. I think we're going to make an offer, and I think we could get it done. You just get this feeling like we are fucking serious about getting a deal for Baleba done and making this happen. All right, guys, I'm going to post this in the chat. You don't have to have a video. If you do, that's great. But you have to have a mic. I'll approve you once you're in here. We'll go piece by piece. I may not get to everybody if a lot of people want to have their say. But you can join via that link if you want to come have your say, have a chat about the game, have a chat about the Hojlund situation itself, and have a chat about Baleba. I want to talk about those things. The game, our readiness for the season, Hojlund and Baleba. So come get your say. Come have your say. Let's go. I want to do this like every game. Parth, I've got you. Can you unmute your mic? I'll bring you in first. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Hey, James. How are you?
Good, you?
Not bad. I thought it was a decent game compared to the reactions that I see.
Yeah.
I don't know what you feel. This is something I thought this time, that we look like a drilled team, like an organized team.
Yep.
One thing I feared last time was us getting corners because we used to concede from them. Today, two or three times noticeably, we were so calm. There were two people, not one. It wasn't a one-on-one situation, and we were very well drilled, very well organized. And even though we lost those duels, we were fine. Like it wasn't an issue.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
we look more organized. Like, and the best thing, I don't know if you saw this as well or you think about it that way, was that it was the same pattern of play repeating, which we've never
Yes.
seen in the last 10 years, I guess.
Yes.
Same
Yeah.
thing.
I
Yeah.
would agree with you. The set pieces were a lot better for us, and then there was a lot of patterns. I just thought we were missing some of the like the little like you know exactly where the other guy's gonna be because you've
Yeah.
been playing together. You know.
But that will come as the season
Yes.
goes. One thing which was great was that he's keeping the same players in that position he wants them to
Yep.
play throughout the
Yep.
season.
Yes.
He and he did try, switching those positions to the last preseason game, which is understandable. We will have injuries, even
Yep.
though it's one game a week. We will have, people losing their form, and it just seemed much more organized. The goals will come. The players we've bought, they will score. Like there's no doubt
Yeah.
about it.
I
But
agree.
the
I agree.
important thing was the patterns and being calm on the ball. And I for the first time I was happy with Bruno in the eight. He did a lot of work
Me
defensively.
too. Yes.
Yeah,
I was
and
quite happy with him today, more than ever actually in that
yeah,
position.
exactly. And
Yeah.
especially with Casemiro, like that gives me a lot of encouragement. Like imagine if it's Ugarte with him. Yeah, that would work. Let's say
Yeah.
we don't get Baleba. Like let's say we don't get
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Bruno and Ugarte, if he plays the way he played today, it's decent.
It's
It's not
better, yeah.
as bad.
It's better than we've seen, I think. Like
Exactly.
it's not
Exactly.
ideal, but it would be better, yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah. No, that's what I thought. It's an okay game. It wasn't as
What
bad as
what
it
do you think of the
became.
Rasmus situation? You think it's
He's
clear?
gone. He's
Yeah.
gone. He's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gone. Ruben Amorim. One thing, I guess, he's very blunt,
Yeah.
and he's to the face. There's no two sides to it. He's
Yep.
not played, and he should take the hint now. I mean, that's all
Yeah.
he can do. He can't. That's all he can do. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think he's gone. Yeah, loan
Yep.
works. Like yeah, try
Yeah.
it out. And that's an incentive for him too, to smash it up in Italy. And let's see what happens next year. He gets sold. I don't know. Yeah,
Yep.
let's see.
Sounds good. Thanks, buddy. See you
Thanks,
later.
thanks, James.
All right. Alezi, are you here? You good? I see you. You ready? All right.
Good.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you? Just want to say thank you for all the work you do. It's funny that my wife has known your voice by now. Every time she's
You
like,
know
"Is it
how many
that?"
people have said that when I was in the States? They're like, my wife or my girlfriend is like, oh, I know that voice. Who's that?
She's like rolls her eyes. Like I have a 2 month old now, and I put my AirPods, and I'm just listening to you and just playing with her. But yeah, I mean, I thought the game was pretty good. When I saw the lineup, I was still a little annoyed. I see Casemiro in there. Even though he is that stopgap, that last midfielder before at the back line, I feel like you just need a runner. And Ugarte is that person. I'm not sure where's the disconnect between, I guess, Amarim and Ugarte, because I mean he started strong, and then at the end of the season, he started not starting him and then
Yeah.
just pushing him in the background. So that's interesting. I really hope we get. I'm a Baliba fan, so we'll see if we can get that in, because we need not just a runner, but somebody can eat grass and actually just pass the ball and whatnot. So
Yeah.
but that's pretty much it. I mean, that was a good game. Hopefully, Hojlund gets the signs. I'm more inclined to keep him and just give him about. I don't know. I feel like Zersky is not the traditional 9. He's the 9.5. So if we let Hojlund go, we actually have one traditional 9. So I don't know, but
I think the issue is to a degree here, right? Just for everybody, the money. If we need more money, we need more savings in order to have the flexibility to potentially do more deals. And so it's like,
right.
If it wasn't a thought at all, you'd be like, sure, Hoyland could stay.
Right.
But if it helps us get Baleba done,
100%
that changes the thinking for everybody, I think.
Yeah, and I'm more proponent to a loan option, because let's say he does have a great year at AC Milan, wherever he goes, and then that's good competition, healthy competition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but hopefully,
Cheers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers and thanks.
Appreciate it. And congrats on the new baby.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Of
All
course.
right, see you, James.
Have a good one. All right. See
You
you
too.
later.
Bye.
All right. Swastik, are you here? How's it going?
Yes, yes.
How's it
So
going?
can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
So hi, thank you for having me, James. Great fan
Yep.
of yours and your work. It's great to have, directly chatting with you. So a bit of background for me. So I'm from India and I'm following Manchester United since 1999. A
Wow, okay.
great year to, start following Man United, isn't it? So let's quickly talk about the business that we have done. So I'm really, happy about the players that are coming in and the players that we are linked with, like Baliba, Wharton,
Yep.
or Donnarumma. Lemons is there as well.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
the reason why I gave you the background, like since when I started watching Manchester United live, is because these were the sort of signings, James, we were used to back then. You know, no one questioned that we are
Yes.
getting Park Ji-sung. Ryan
Right.
Giggs was already here. Sir
Yeah.
Alex was there. And for Barcelona, Real Madrid, you see the Champions League games, he used to pick, Park Ji-sung because of the
Yeah.
intensity,
Yeah.
the
Yep.
tenacity which was needed. And no one, sulked or said, Giggs should be playing ahead of them or Giggs should be
Right.
playing
Right.
ahead of them. At a certain point of time, we had Tevez, we had Ronaldo, we had Berbatov, we had Rooney. So
Yep.
big clubs, the huge clubs that we are actually. So we are supposed to have those sort of players competing for the places, pushing one another. Like
Yep.
I don't feel personally that Ronaldo would have been Ronaldo if he didn't have the constant,
Sure.
competition from Messi. So
Sure.
it basically brushes from each other's shoulders. So coming back to the signings that we actually need, James, I think Baleba should be a must go because this is a
Yeah.
one-time offer as per me because there'll be big clubs coming in next season.
Yeah. I
So
agreed
any
with
which
that.
ways,
Agreed with that. Yep.
so 110, 120 million pounds will be easily achieved by Brighton. So we have the proof in the pudding in terms of Caicedo, correct? Because Liverpool was there and Chelsea was
Yep.
there and they were competing and they got the money at the end. And
Yep.
as far as the goalkeeper is concerned, James, there's a particular point I wanted to make is that it is very, very essential that we get a goalkeeper because the defense also breathes a sigh of relief, in my opinion,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
there's a good one coming off his line, clearing when it's required.
Yeah. The
And
confidence
then,
factor is big. Yeah. I agree with that.
so I guess if you can have someone like Donnarumma, arguably one of the best goalkeepers in the world, yes, a few errors here and there, everybody makes that. But generally, the less number of mistakes you make over a period of time, so you can be considered a very good goalkeeper, Champions League winner. So 26 million pound is the quoted amount which we have heard. So if we can offer him something around 250 thousand pounds a week, I guess he can consider that because there is not much of competition other than Chelsea or
Yep.
Inter Milan. So I don't think Inter Milan can afford that amount of money at this point of time. So I guess it is imperative we at least have a shot in terms of Donnarumma, and then we'll wait and see. Because at the start of the window, and you might agree with me, a lot of people didn't think that we'll get Mbumo, Cunha, and Sesko all together in one window. When didn't
No.
we finish 15th last year?
Yeah.
And we didn't have Europe. So somehow, the management saw that the Champions League money, and now we have the Club World Cup money. So as per me, the teams who are above me, like Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, they are already better than us, correct? And they are making their team better. But for us, we are lacking behind just for the reason is we are trying to be at par with them. So we need to make better signings than them to be at par
Right.
with them, if I make
Yeah.
sense, right?
No, I get you. We
So
need to be better. Yeah. Of course. We need to sign higher level players. Yeah. Yep.
because they are already better than us. So if we
Yep.
have to be better than them or at par with them, we need to have better transfer windows or better signings to come in. And
Yep.
for better signings, we need to spend a lot of money. As you can see, class of 99 or the Barcelona Academy graduates, as you can see, like there are very far few little there. And the Galactico method, like Real Madrid, they have won 15 Champions League. We cannot, even compete with them. So how did they do that? By buying players. You see the Chelsea model. So I'm not saying that it should be a mixed blend of spending and promoting the youth as well, which I think under Vivel we are doing good. With Cheeto, Diego Leon, Aiden Heaven, it's already there. It's Kobe Mano is there. So I guess slowly and steadily we are going there. I'm very optimistic for the season if we can get a good goalkeeper and believer.
Yeah, I totally agree. Thank you for all of that. I totally agree. Have a good
Thank you
one. All
so
right.
much, James, for having me.
Or-
You do take care.
You too. All right. OMP, you ready? All right. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, man. How are you?
Good, good.
Yeah, look, big fan, man. Been here since the the Sancho saga.
Oh, the crazy days. Yeah, the chaos. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
man. Shout out
Coming a
Mike.
long way.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think as far as just how we're looking, I actually liked the game that we had today because I like us having to figure things out in a game. I think
Yep.
Watching the West Ham game was cool, was great. Like the fluidity was there, but it's kind of like, this is just a bit too easy. Like
Right.
this is a
We
realistic
didn't run into
scenario.
the challenge. So yeah.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
it's not a realistic scenario of like what we'll probably face every week. But I think just to touch on Mbumo and Ahmad, I like that dynamic on the right, and I think we're so like fixated on positions as fans. Like
Yeah.
what I like to see is kind of like how you use their profiles in different moments of a game. So I think in the
Yeah.
build up, for example, Mbumo being in the pocket, Ahmad being out wide, because Ahmad is really good at like kind of dropping in and creating space with his passing like inside. And Mbumo can kind of ease because his touch is so good, he can easily receive the ball like with his back to goal and kind of create an attack from there. But in transition, I kind of prefer them like when they do swap because that kind of creates a lot of confusion for like the defense as well.
Yes.
Because Mbuma's definitely got more of a kind of like a direct outlet kind of pace. Because
Yes, correct.
where I see it, like when we attack, I think Sesko and Mbuma will kind of be like, the
Runners.
off-the-shoulder runners.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we'll kind of have Cunha, Bruno, Cunha more so kind of dropping in and driving, and then Bruno
Sure.
kind of looking forward with like forward runners. So I like seeing those things, even though they didn't kind of click. You can kind of see Ruben's intentions with that, and it's very clear. It's almost like you could tell, like in today's game with Mount, it was almost like, hey, whoever's in the middle, just try like figure it out when we get there, because like we're not gonna use this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. No, I did like, picking the right players in the positions they're going to play in for the most part, because it's you getting those changing dynamics, but it's also like we need those relationships will take time to form. There's nothing you can do about it, but let them keep playing together, because at game speed, you can do it in practice all you want. At game speed, when defenders are making different moves, they've got to learn that's where he's going to be. And you could see with Ahmad and in Mbumo, that's like not quite there yet, but they're trying new things and they'll figure it out at some point together. So they're good players.
And his first touch, man, it's crazy because it actually creates so much time for everything else. Like when the ball gets kind of fizzed into him and he can kind of just kill it on a dead stop and just, first time pass, a change of direction, I think creates a whole different dynamic. But look, I am a believer. I genuinely think that I think we have the juice to get it done. Like, I think it's one of those moves where like, because the wages aren't going to be crazy.
Correct. That too. Yes.
Like, I think it's so easy for us to kind of handle it. Like the big thing is just like, can we actually entice Brighton right now with an exciting offer when everybody else is kind of on the back foot and they're not really planning for it? But I have a question for you.
Yeah.
26 million pounds. Are the wages worth it for a player of his level?
Donnarumma, you mean?
Yeah.
Probably is. I'm tempted to say the money's worth whatever we need to do to get better players in the door right now. In these key positions, because we've added the striker, we add the midfielder, we add a goalkeeper. I'm not sure if they think so, though, to be fair. I think they do feel maybe he's not worth that much money right now. and that getting a younger, more high potential goalkeeper is potentially better as competition. I'm not sure they're convinced at this point, I would say, on
Do we know how much he
Donnarumma.
wants? Do we know how much he
Well,
wants?
I don't know. He's on. He would be
Like
on
100.
similar to that. I think the thing with Donnarumma is that if what you might want to do when they might play it this way is push it to the end of the window, see if anybody else, if there's any competition, and figure it out. Can you get a loan potentially? Is there a way you could get a loan like we offered to Emi Martinez? A loan fee, wages covered, and then talk about it later, when he's a free agent, and then you can avoid that cost of signing a player, up front on the fee when he's only got a year left and they want him out and maybe nobody else is there.
Yeah.
No, so if nobody else comes in for him, I think we look at that at the end of the window and consider it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think honestly, I know they get a lot of shit, but you can't kind of deny what everybody's doing at the club right now. Like, it's just one of those things where it is shit as fans, like when you hear of like people losing their jobs just as a human being. But at the same time, like, we had like 500 more people than we needed.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I think it's quite telling, for example, when you look at the Carrington video, actually how little like desk space there is, right? It's not like hundreds and hundreds
It's not
of
1,000 people fitting in there, that's for sure.
yeah. And I think for me, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean?
How many people do you need? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
no. But
All right,
man,
appreciate that, buddy. Thanks for coming on. Good to see
thanks,
you.
man. Appreciate it. Cheers.
All right. Anish, are you ready? Okay. You hear him?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It's a little quiet.
Hold on. Is this better now?
That's better, yes.
All right. Big fan. I was at the New Jersey game. I actually pinged you.
Oh, no. Did I miss you?
Yeah, I guess you were at the press box. So
Yeah, it was. That one was really busy. I was there for such a short time, unfortunately.
yeah. So I have a few points written down actually.
Sure.
So
Let's hear it.
one of them is Mount is one of our best pressers in the team, which is kind of insane because the fitness levels on this guy was kind of sus in the last season and the season before it. So I would like to know, do you think that we can get him like playing for, I don't know, 90 minutes every other game week?
I think Mount will be a squad player in the long term. I think he's a player that will probably work in the cups, and I think he's a player that will probably, that will work in the cups and will work as a sub with energy because he does a lot of the right things, but he doesn't necessarily have a natural position. You know what I'm saying? In this team, I think he can play as one of the number 10s would be good. If Cunha is not playing as a number 10 on that left side. But I think he's better as a rotation, as a squad player, as a sub than anything else. And I think he'll be good in that role.
Yeah. And I heard you saying that number 9's been missing. I think that Xerxes being injured, and I don't know if he's an injury-prone player, but he's been injured quite a lot actually, even last season, this season, even before this season. So do you think that that's going to put a lot of pressure on Sesko? Because I genuinely think so.
Yeah, but I think he can handle it, because I think it's kind of about expectations, right? Like, what are we expecting from Sesko? I think most people, there's always going to be pressure, but we've got 3 new forwards, so it's new for all of them. At the same time, 1 game a week, Sesko is a athletic and fitness freak, like no injuries in 3 years, knock on wood and all of that at United. But, that's obviously one of the factors that they know about him. So I think he's the guy who can easily play every game as needed. And I think that, it's obviously he's going to have to perform. But my firm belief on the striker is that with the players we've added, so long as Sesko runs the channels, just does his job, runs the channels, uses his pace and gets in the box for some crosses, he'll provide a significant upgrade on anything else we could have and will help the team a lot in that respect, even if his own output isn't that high, and it'll help us win games. And I think that in that sense, he'll relieve a lot of pressure on himself.
Yeah, I guess that's the case. I also wanted to talk. I think that the lineup that we saw today, unfortunately, I think that's the lineup we'll see against Arsenal because
Has a very good chance, doesn't it? Yeah.
yeah, I don't think Ugarte is gonna start. Although I desperately want him to start against Arsenal because the problem is that Arsenal's midfield is pretty good, and I have a fear that they're gonna run rings around.
Yeah, I worry about that too. It's very very energetic. Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw a few times today that when the ball goes to Euro tries to find Ahmad, and Ahmad tries to find someone in the middle. So that's generally the pattern that's been repeating all preseason. You could see that repeated almost 20, 30 times a game, I would say.
Yep.
The only problem is as soon as Casemiro receives the ball, his first instinct is to put the ball behind the defender, and I guess that's what KG says. The Casemiro special, the first time behind the defender.
Yeah, the first time launch. Yeah.
But I think for the first game, we will understand that we need Baleba more than anything. I mean, I know that we know it already, but it's gonna be a massive reality check, I think. But I guess we do need Baleba, but I also think that our defenders need to step up a little more because we've been caught when out of possession. We've been caught a few too many times, I think, and that's something a little more concerning than the midfield for me. And I think Baleba doesn't solve that, I would say, because the three at the back, we should be more compact, or not compact, but we need to be more aggressive defensively.
Yeah, aggressive. They need to step closer, to the midfield.
I think we've been missing that, which is why Casemiro looks bad. Even Bruno sometimes looks bad because of it. But I think it's going to resolve itself, hopefully, after we get Baleba.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Baleba will help a lot. I also think, again, when we play a striker to look the best. Now, I struggle with this a little bit, but it goes under the radar just how much better we looked with Rasmus Hojlund on the pitch this preseason. Like, it's not an accident.
Yeah.
It's a funny situation given that he's not playing now and we're clearly kind of pushing him out. It's a funny situation, but both West Ham and against Bournemouth, we looked a lot better with Rasmus Hojlund on the pitch than off the pitch. And it's a simple, natural. He was making the striker runs. He was doing the striker runs. He was making the movements we wanted. It was different midfields in both games, but the thing that was consistent, was when we had a striker making striker movements, we play better. Yeah. And I think we're going to see a huge change with a striker coming on too.
Yeah, and I'm pretty excited about Ahmad and Mbeumo link up on that right hand side. They've been stepping on each other's toes right now, but I think that should be sorted out by the end of first international break, I think.
Yeah,
that should sort itself out. But even today, when I think Mbeumo got a ball and there were like 3 defenders on him, that's where I feel like Ahmad should give him a support.
More support. Yep. All right, Anish, thank you for all of that. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you. Just one thing, by the way, like Swastik is saying there, you got to know your history, my friends. There are always evil people who will co-opt symbols and language and turn it into bad. There's a natural symbol there that has nothing to do with anything bad, and a little more maturity could be shown. All right, Nars, you ready? How you doing?
Sir.
How's it
doing
going?
Well. Feeling good, man. Excited about United again. It's a good thing. It's been a rough period of time for us.
Yes, yes, it has.
But I don't know if you can tell what I want to talk about with my avatar here, but Baleba, right?
Balebo, a surprise.
Th- this window has been incredible so far, but if we add that, like, I don't know, I'm gonna lose my head if we add that, because Baleba, I don't think people understand how transformative he can be for Amarim's system. Like, you see Casemiro in a lot of the transitions, he's slow to get to the spot that he needs to be in.
Yep.
I'm an Ugarte fan, but people have their issues with him, but he would basically improve everyone's play on the pitch just from his athletic prowess, his touch, his skill at passing. Like, he can kind of do it all.
Yep.
So if we do that, it's actually insane what we might do. Now, for this season, my expectations, I'm trying to keep a check on them. Like, we just have to get Europe. That's it. That is the goal. That is where we are in the plan, right? But my question for you is, where are we right now? What would you rate this summer as?
I think it's very good. I think it's, the excitement over Baleba, I think will have people probably like, almost looking past the signings that we've made. But getting 3 top forwards in one window, 2 players in the Premier League in Cunha and Mbeumo, who are probably the best or second best in their position last season. 2 of the best, probably I would say the best attackers outside the top 4, basically, right? When you go to that kind of measurement, right? Getting that in is huge. Getting Sesko as a young player that they feel has the potential to be world class, it's huge. It's already a really quite sensational in that respect as a window, and has potential to be one of our best ever in there. Adding Baleba onto that, of course, takes it to almost unreal and unheard of levels. We've never had a window that good. I don't think at any point in time when you consider it. So I think it's very good. I think we've made enough moves that once Sesko gets on the pitch and we get going, we'll be quite good. I think we've got enough firepower to get into Europe regardless now. I think Baleba pushes into where we're saying this is a season where we're putting together the pieces to make a title run in the future, where we actually have a team that's not totally finished, but has most of the core parts to actually do that. The major problems are solved, and then you can actually say, all right, we're building the relationships and the ability to get to a titles, in the future. So I think we're getting there.
Yeah. If we do end up getting Baleba, it just changes. It changes the game of what we have to do going forward to improve, because you have the correct pieces in place for that actual title run. Like, we will actually be in that hunt. So I'm just excited to see where we go. If we get him or not this season, like, we're going in the right direction, and Ineos should be given credit for rough start, but what they're doing now, they have a plan and they are doing what it takes. So
for sure. Yeah. Agreed. Thank you for that. And DM me what microphone you're using and how the settings are set up, because it sounds incredible.
Will do.
Okay, sounds good. See you, buddy.
All right, thanks.
All right, Kachi, are you ready, buddy? I know you've been waiting a bit. All right, how you doing? You there?
I'm doing good, James.
How are you?
I'm good. The game, one thing I realized about this game is we really need a striker. It shows the importance of what, it was quite funny because around like 65 minutes, I was hoping for Hojlund to come on. Not because he was good, just because, he runs the channels.
Same for me. I was like, man, I kind of wish we'd see Hojlund now, because I just need to see this with a striker on the pitch.
Yeah, I think it makes, the difference is night and day, because Cunha and Mbeumo Mouse, they're better players, but, in as much as they're good, they're not nines. So we need an actual nine. So I'm happy for Sesko. I also think that Mbeumo, and what do you think about the Mbeumo and Ahmad relationship? Because it was kind of, sometimes their movements were a bit awkward.
They're getting in each other's way, right?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Do you think it's because, they're both left footers? So
I think that it's just time. They just need time to work out, like, who goes which way at which times, properly coordinate those movements. I think that's the main thing. I think the other issue here is that when we get a striker on the pitch, it changes the dynamic of the front three because it makes more space.
Yeah.
When Mount is dropping, or playing the way he does, I think it also, it's not like it's a problem, but it does clog up the channels a little bit, and the defenders are in different spots because it's not a striker. If you have the striker running in behind Mbeumo and he's dropping, then it's going to open up a gap for Ahmad.
Yeah.
But without that, the gaps aren't really there. The positions aren't really there. So the dynamics will change a lot with it, even with just a striker and all that.
Yeah, and I
too.
thought Cunha, I don't want to see Cunha without the striker, because I think he doesn't play too good without, like, someone giving him that space.
Yeah, he needs someone in front pushing the defense so he can
Yeah.
run into the spaces. Yeah.
And what do you think about, I was a bit surprised that Casemiro was playing today, because I don't have any problem with Casemiro, apart from the fact that I still don't think he's quite like that Premier League level, like in terms of like intensity and the going back and front. So I don't know what's happened between. I understand that, towards the back end of last season, Ugarte's form kind of dipped a bit, but, he didn't really have cover, so I don't really blame him too much. So I don't know what's going to happen there against Arsenal. I don't know if I want to see Casemiro against Declan Rice next week. I'm not sure about that. So what do you think happened there?
It's kind of, I'm not sure it's a form thing.
Okay.
He has a dynamic that he likes. He picks Casemiro and Bruno together as a pairing almost always. You can see it every time, right? Like I was pointing out, like against Everton, he subs he moves Bruno deep with Ugarte, and it lasts 5 minutes. Then he subs. Today he moves Mainu comes in for Casemiro, and it's Bruno and Mainu, and that lasts 5 minutes, and then he subs and moves Bruno out. He always plays Bruno with Casemiro for whatever reason. There's a dynamic he likes there, and he wants to play Mainu and Ugarte together. Now, if you look at it in a sense, if you were to sign Baleba and you had Baleba and Ugarte, Bruno and Mainu as the similar pairings, then it starts to make sense. But you would think you give a chance to having Ugarte and Bruno in that sense, but we haven't seen it all preseason. It just doesn't happen. And it is a little surprising. I don't know what the reason for it is totally. I don't know. But yeah, it's an interesting one. I'm not sure, and I think I'm worried about it too. And it may be okay in preseason, but I do think we'll be in for a rude awakening against Arsenal if we put that midfield out.
Yeah. One other question. Branthwaite signed a contract with Everton. Do you think that kind of affects our ability to go for him next summer, or do you think we still have a chance to go for him?
Yeah, I think they're gonna. They clearly still really like him because they made a 55 million bid last summer for him. So obviously they value him quite high. They were willing to go almost as high as 60, but they were asking for so much money. I think it'll depend on the season he does, because he could be perfect in a sense. He's left-footed. He can play in the middle. He can play out wide. He's got the pace. He's got the Premier League experience. If we have a good, solid European finish and we have a lot of money, center back's certainly going to be something we look at next summer. That might be one of the things. You know what I mean? That certainly might be one of the things that we turn to. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. You seem to know a lot about the financial side of things, because I come to this channel a lot for, when it comes to the financial breakdowns. What was your kind of educational background before entering into media?
It's just business. It's just my day job. I do a lot of work with small businesses and in general, and a lot of that is, looking at balance sheets and looking at profit and loss and looking at from a standpoint of like, how do you fix up your business? You know what I mean? And it's just kind of that. I mean, I look at it in that sense, which is not necessarily the total picture, but certainly I would say it's above the average in terms of experience in looking at business accounting and of different sizes and all of that.
Yeah. So I think this is the first time I'm happy, going into United season, because I think this is the first time in 10 since Ferguson left that we've actually built an 11 to play a certain way. Like for the first time, we're buying this for this for that, and everything is all going in one direction. So, I'm kind of excited about that.
Yes, I agree with you. It is the first time we've done that. Fully the first time we've actually got like once you put Sesko in there, I think even though we need an upgrade in midfield, I think you actually have an 11 where I would say the profiles fit what Ruben Amorim wants from his team,
Yeah.
almost every position.
And that kind of gets me angry because imagine what we've been doing. We've been so poorly run for the last 10 years. Like, it's, Ineos just used 2 windows to fix, get a decent 11. It didn't take too long, so it's kind of very frustrating to see how, United has been judged. But United haven't been operating as an actual club for the last 10 years. It's so funny. It's so funny, man.
I know. It is funny how quick you can fix it if you just, like, don't do stupid things.
Very.
If you don't pick players out of a hat to sign, just because you like the name.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
well,
Kachi,
keep up
thank
the
you
good
for
work,
coming.
man.
Yes, thank you very much,
Yeah,
and
I
thank you
think
for coming on.
Yeah, your channel is kind of like, one of the best United channels out there. I like the collaborations you do with KG and the rest.
Oh,
So you
yeah, I
guys
love
are,
those guys.
yeah, you
Absolutely
guys
love
are
those
amazing.
guys.
And shout out to them
Yeah.
for, really stretching a hand to you. So, yeah.
All right, buddy. Thanks for coming on. I'll see you later, okay?
All right, bye.
Bye. All right. Aeon, you ready? Can you unmute if you're ready? You hear? Hello, hello?
Can you hear me? Testing.
Yeah, yes, you're good now.
Great. That was interesting. I enjoyed some aspects of it, honestly, but other aspects of it I'm still questioning, where we clearly figured out what's gonna happen for Rasmus. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. It makes sense.
Yes.
I kind of saw that, like, our attack, it's still a bit naive in a sense, where it's the same as last season with Rasmus, where we get to the edge of the box and it feels like we creep around the box, we allow them to, like, build up their base, and then we're just pinging around it, right?
Yeah.
It reminds me of, like, the whole Man City without a striker, like a false nine situation that was happening.
Yeah.
And I feel like football has kind of gone back on its evolution of having a number 9 to stretch in that
You've
sense.
got to have one now, yeah.
But then it's also like, I feel like we're like a asynchronous accordion, where, like, our front stretches but our back doesn't stretch with it.
Fair enough.
Doesn't
Doesn't
contract
keep up
with it.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it feels like, or our back contracts and our front doesn't stretch sometimes, and we get caught on either side.
Yeah.
And then it just makes a weird situation. Like, there were so many times where, like, there was a pass on, but the ball goes back, or there was no pass on and someone just does a flick, where it's like we give possession away. Like, I know we recover possession well, but we give stupid possession away in a sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with both those. In the first half, there was a good chunk of time when I was watching, like, the overlap is on, the run through is on, but there's no central box occupation anyway. So it's sort of like pointless. Like, you run in and then, you run out. And there was the goal we actually scored. Mason Mount got a corner, and it's a good thing he did, because if he hit it into the box, there was nobody there, back in front of the goalie. There's 3-4 defenders and no attackers. And it's one of those things, we certainly need a lot more box occupation and a serious striker. The football has definitely gone that way, stretching the pitch at the same time as needing that physical presence in the middle to do something. And and it's probably adaptation to some of the big strikers that have come through in the Prem in recent years too.
Yeah.
But certainly I would agree with that.
It's not only the striker though. I think I would have liked to see a bit more penetration from Mbubu. Like, Garnacho, like, whatever you say about Garnacho, he, even when Rasmus was struggling, he would make those, like, runs that you're like, okay, there's at least someone up there. In fact, like, you would see that on, like, the heat maps where, like, Garnacho was farther forward than Rasmus sometimes, and you're just like, first of all, that shouldn't be happening, but at least there's someone there. Where, like, I would want that more from Cunha than Mbeumo, in that sense. And then Ahmad and Mbeumo are just, like, stepping on each other's toes, which is actually pretty funny to see, because you're like, they both want to do the right thing, but they're both going for the same answers, instead of trying to go for the opposite one. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was kind of the throw-ins, because Florentina, like, if you saw some of the throw-ins, it was like one touch and they were on the opposite end attacking. Well, I've noticed, like, our throw-ins are basically, if it's on the right side, it goes to Euro, and then if it's on the left side, it goes to Heaven, and then it's just like expand and then contract again. Where I don't know if like that's to get the other team to come out against us, but I think we should be going more throw-ins towards the opposition end from the start, you know?
Yeah. I did notice a couple of interesting occasions there, but we do seem to do a thing where maybe that'll change over time, where anytime we kind of get possession in a situation like that, we kind of throw it backwards, build up from the back again instead of, going for it. But yeah,
I guess it's like them still learning how to play that, so they're just going back, like, let's get back to basics and then go, right?
Exactly. Something like that, yeah.
But we're giving up so much yardage in just doing that. It's just kind of frustrating, you know?
Yeah, I hear you. I do hear you. What do you think about the Hojlund situation?
I mean, like I said last time, I think there's a player that wants to fight for us in that sense, but I understand what's happening. I think a loan would be good for him, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
Right?
Yeah.
And if he goes to like AC Milan, like Scott McTominay did a great job in Syria, right? And at the end of the day, it is a player's career, right? So if he decides whatever happens after that, if he wants to come back, if he does well, then I'm sure Man United would be open to it, depending on what happens with Sesko and Xerxes. Because I think this season will really test what happens with Xerxes. Because Xerxes is so good on the ball, but like I think it's that awkward tall man, big muscle where like they get to pull muscle strains and stuff like that. And so if he can't do that, then it might be good to have him back, and the loan would work out either way. But
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
with you. Well, thank you for all of that, buddy. Appreciate it. All right, guys, I'm going to end the talking there, and just give a few summaries here, which is that again, talking about what's going on Rasmus Hojlund, we are moving towards, let's say, a discussion, a push here. We don't necessarily have a certainty. There's a little bit of debate on things. At this moment in time, he still wants to stay. I've heard it quite a bit different too, that he would prefer a permanent to a loan. I think he wants to make it at United. He wants to fight at United, as I've been saying. More discussions will be had with him. Today, big signal. Obviously, I don't have an update since the game. Big sign on Rasmus that, that we will be essentially pushing, him kind of out the door. Obviously, Ruben Amorim's comments tie into that. So that's a big thing there. And I think the biggest thing is money. On Garnacho, we need some money there as well, in order to essentially give us more flexibility in the market. On Baleba, my information, we've been in touch. He's open to the move. He's encouraged it a bit. We don't have a solid price from Brighton. I think we expected it to be in the 90 to 100 range, so I doubt we'd be totally surprised by whatever the price is. I think the goal here is sort out the Sesko's now done, get him in the team, sort out the Hojlund thing, get the Garnacho thing kind of sorted to get ready for the start of the season, give ourselves more flexibility in what we can offer, and see if we can firm up what is a good offer before making it, so that the door doesn't shut on that, and that we can kind of, do something with it in general to kind of make it happen, or to see if we can push it through, and at least have a serious conversation about all of this. On the keeper front, I think Lamens is more likely than Donnarumma at this time. I've gone back and forth a bit, heard different things. The costs and expenses for Donnarumma are quite high, but either way, I think this could be like a late window opportunity on either one that we'll see if we can figure out what to do with. And that's the main thing. I think we're going to try this Baleba thing for real. Like, everything I've heard on that is that we'll try this Baleba thing. So we'll see. The reason I say I'm not sure it's totally a matter of like that Hojlund is open to the permanent more than the loan is I believe we have he turned down a permanent move to Leipzig. So I'm not sure that that's accurate. Unless he had some specific problem with Leipzig in general, he turned down a move to Leipzig. There was discussion over a permanent move. Leipzig would have been willing to buy him. He turned that down. The door to a loan to Milan has not been shut. So I'm not sure what's going on that side of it, but I'm leaning towards my information. But this is, we're talking about a personal feeling, things like that, feeling from the club, feeling from him, you're going to get a lot of different perspectives, on that side of it in terms of who thinks what, either way. But regardless, that's going to change. Conversations between United and him will happen ensuing in the next week or so and over the next few days. Already happened today, a clear signal. I'm sure there will be discussions after this game to say, what the hell? What are we doing now? And what do we do from here and what happens? So I'll let you guys know if I have any kind of update on any of that. So one sec. So yeah, that's that. And then on the game itself, I think the biggest thing is the 9. I'm never going away from that feeling. It's been I said it after Everton. I said it after this game. Most of the problems I think we have from purely a football standpoint come down to the lack of a serious number 9 in there, and how it works. And we played better when we had a number 9. Cunha and Bouma are perhaps at 60% of what they can do. Yeah, exactly. We'll be much better. They'll build that relationship. Exactly that. All right, guys, let me end it there. I'll probably make a video later in the afternoon. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Thanks for watching. Make sure to join the watch alongs. They're a lot of fun. Won't be so early in the morning next time. Yeah, and Arsenal, the next time we have a watch along, we'll probably do one of these post-match chats and get people's voices in, and I'll probably be some stronger opinions then, as it's an actual full regular season game. Thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll be back to you guys later. Have a good one, guys.